The increasing proletarianization of modern man and the increasing formation of masses are two sides of the same process. Fascism attempts to organize the newly proletarianized masses while leaving intact the property relations which they strive to abolish. It sees its salvation in granting expression to the masses, but on no account granting them rights. The masses have a right to change property relations. Fascism seeks to give them expression in keeping these relations unchanged. The logical outcome of fascism is an aestheticizing of political life. The violation of the masses, whom fascism, with its Führer cult, forces to their knees, has its counterpart in the violation of an apparatus which is pressing into serving the production of mutual values. All efforts to aestheticize politics culminate in one point. That one point is war. War, and only war, makes it possible to set a goal for mass movements on the grandest scale while preserving traditional property relations. That is how the situation presents itself in political terms. In technological terms, it can be formulated as follows. Only war makes it possible to mobilize all of today's technological resources while maintaining property relations. It goes without saying that the fascist glorification of war does not make use of these arguments. Nevertheless, a glance at such glorification is instructive. In Marionetti's manifesto for the colonial war in Ethiopia, we read, "For 27 years, we futurists have rebelled against the idea that war is anti-aesthetic. We therefore state, war is beautiful because, thanks to its gas masks, its terrifying megaphones, its flamethrowers, and light tanks, it establishes man's dominion over the subjugated machine. War is beautiful because it inaugurates the dreamed of metallization of the human body. War is beautiful because it enriches a flowering meadow with the fiery orchids of machine guns. War is beautiful because it combines gunfire, barrages, ceasefires, scents, and the fragrances of putrefaction into a symphony. War is beautiful because it creates new architectures like those of armored tanks, geometric squadrons of aircraft, spirals of smoke from burning villages, and much more. Poets and artists of futurism, remember these principles of an aesthetic of war that they may illuminate your struggles for a new poetry and a new sculpture." This manifesto has a merit of clarity. The question it poses deserves to be taken up by the dialectician. To him, the aesthetic of modern warfare appears as follows. If the natural use of productive forces is impeded by the property system, then the increase in technological means, in speed, and sources of energy will press toward an unnatural use. This is found in war, and the destruction caused by war furnishes proof that society was not mature enough to make technology its organ, that technology was not sufficiently developed to master the elemental forces of society. The most horrifying features of imperialist war are determined by the discrepancy between the enormous means of production and their inadequate use in the process of production. In other words, by underemployment and the lack of markets. Imperialist war is an uprising on the part of technology, which demands repayment in human material, for the natural material society has denied it. Instead of draining rivers, society directs a human stream into the bed of trenches. Instead of dropping seeds from airplanes, it drops incendiary bombs over cities, and in gas warfare it has found a new means of abolishing the aura. Fiat ars, pierat mundus, says fascism, expecting from war, as Marinetti admits, the artistic gratification of a sense perception altered by technology. This is evidently the consummation of the art pour art. Humankind, which once in Homer was an object of contemplation for the Olympian gods, has now become one for itself. Its self-alienation reaches a point where it can experience its own annihilation as a supreme aesthetic pleasure. Such is the aestheticizing of politics as practiced by fascism. Communism replies by politicizing art.